All right, guys, welcome back to Advices Radio. And up next today, we have with us IFBB Pro Josh Wade. Josh, thank you for being with us, man. I much appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Scott, man. I mean, I definitely, I love how supportive you are in the bodybuilding community and the knowledge and everything. So it's good to be able to share with your fans.
Dude, I got to say, man, and when I say I appreciate it, I mean I really do, because we are 9:30 here on the East Coast and here in Detroit, Midwest. You're at like 6:30 a.m. over there on the West Coast, right?
Scott, I'm a dedicated individual. I get up at 3:40 in the morning.
Oh my God.
So I know there's a lot of pro bodybuilders that work regular jobs and have families and everything. Yeah. But I'm one of those guys. I'm up at 3:40 in the morning. I mean, especially during prep. But I'm up at 3:40 in the morning. I'm here. I own my own gym, and the hours of operation are basically 5 a.m. to 8 p.m.
No kidding.
So I have to open the gym. So I get here at 4:25, get the gym opened up, get on my wrap, get on my sweats and my sweatpants and my beanie, and get started on cardio. So that way, basically, by the time I'm done with cardio, about 5:30 a.m., then I basically get dried off, get cooled off a little bit. Run through all my quarter turns and all my mandatory poses, at least 2 rounds.
No kidding.
A couple times a week, basically doing pictures. After that, so a little bit of cool down, and then that gives me time to get changed, suited back up, and then my first appointment Wednesday mornings. This morning I have an appointment at 5 a.m. So I don't do cardio. Every other day, I get here at 4:25, do my cardio, and then I get ready for my 6 a.m. appointment is my first appointment of the day.
Okay.
So Wednesdays is at 5 a.m., so I have cardio set up Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday now, because Wednesday morning I have a 5 a.m. appointment, and I'm a worker bee. I got to make sure that I provide for my family.
What show are you getting ready for right now?
The New York Pro, Scott. That's where I started. I started my season last year at the New York Pro. And I think that's really, even though I've been, even the year before, 2017, I had a pretty good, that was really my pro debut season, and had a pretty good season. But after last year, New York is what pretty much put me on the map, I think.
Hell yeah.
Getting out there, the conditioning that I brought, Jim Mannion was the head judge, obviously Steve Weinberger's show. And when they're seeing somebody they don't really know, and they're putting them in the first call out, then that starts setting up a cascade of events for me to start improving my rankings as I improve my physique.
Absolutely, man. And you know what, I'm looking at your contest history right now, over at Muscle Memory. I'm seeing that, you started out in 2008 and then really started putting the weight on as you went, moved up to super heavyweight, then back down to heavyweight. You turned pro at Team Universe 2016, then 17. It looked like you had gotten third at Vancouver, which was a hell of a placing, and as well as third at the Ferrigno Legacy. I mean, those are some awesome placings, great shows. And then, like you said, man, 2018, you've really come full throttle here with a fourth at the New York Pro, which that was a huge show, and then third at Vancouver again. So you're saying New York Pro is the first show you're planning on. What are you working to change? What are you going to try to do differently? Because I know that you're a conditioning guy. You got the size, and you bring some nasty conditioning. What do the judges want to see last year that you're going to try to improve upon?
I know this, and obviously I work with John Meadows, Mountain Dog, and John is my guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's I don't know if there's. I don't know if you care about a little profanity on the show or
whatever goes. You'll get if you kick us off of Facebook, I'll blame you.
All right. So anyways, basically with John Meadows, he's just a good guy. I mean, he's a really good guy, super honest. John, this is the cool thing about it, because if I ever get any positive praise or something from John, I know it's fucking real.
Oh yeah.
He does not going to sugarcoat shit, but again, he's when he sees something he gets excited about, I can read it in his emails. So basically after the Olympia last year, we both agreed my arms, I have long arms for a 5'9" individual.
Okay.
So that's been my weakness, has been arms. My legs are pretty good, but I can use more outer sweeps, which I'm working on.
Okay.
Fullness to the arms have significantly improved. I mean,
really,
I've really, really worked them hard, and we'll get into details as far as what I've done, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Things that I felt that I've noticed the best connection with me. But after the Olympia, John and I both, I mean, this was a mutual decision, which I've already known for years, that my arms and legs are a little bit behind my upper torso. I have good density and muscle mass, and the maturity that I have through my chest, delts, and my back. I get a lot of the Dorian Yates back comments or comparisons.
Yes.
Because I do have flaring lats and I have deep density. So my arms and legs were behind my upper torso. So those were going to be the priorities. And they've improved, and I beat the shit out of them and worked them super hard. And we'll get to some training philosophies like you wanted to, and techniques and stuff.
Absolutely.
But the one thing that I can tell you after competing for over 12 years, you get to the point where obviously building tremendous amount of more muscle tissue it's not going to be fast.
Right.
It's going to be very, very slow. So the size that I put on my arms, the size I put on my legs, it's going to be minute. They are improved,
right?
But it's going to be minute. But anybody that's been following me, and I don't know if you've seen some of this, Scott, I finally this year started training my waist.
Really?
Yeah. And basically, I mean, a lot of it was listening to Juan Morel. Juan Morel is, again, I mean, just a stand-up fucking dude. I love the guy. I mean,
did you see that vacuum he pulled? Did you see that vacuum he pulled the other day on Instagram? He's pulling such a crazy vacuum now.
I pull a pretty good one myself now. Nice. And because of Juan, he told me what he was doing. He put out a post on there, out on Instagram, and it was like, hell, am I getting wider or wider? Is waist getting smaller and smaller? And he said, waist is getting smaller. I'm training core every day. Huh. So I messaged him, I know he's a good guy, and I messaged him. I was like, hey man, I'm doing sit-ups like every day. I'm trying to blow the air out, trying to train it. I said, if you don't mind sharing, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And so he said, I'm just doing vacuums. He does 10 rounds of vacuums for at least 20 seconds.
No kidding.
Every morning. And I started doing them. The first day, I hardly got any movement. So I was discouraged. I didn't think I could do it. Huh. I thought maybe my intestines are too big, too much, or organs. People talk about, growth and insulin and bullshit. It doesn't cause a distension. What causes distension is weak muscles.
Dude.
So the lack of training the transverse abdominis is what has held me back. Huh. I didn't think I could do it. It wasn't like, I'm not a lazy individual. Everybody knows I work my ass off.
Yeah, it's obvious.
But I had no idea that this is something that had to be done repetitively to notice a difference. I just thought I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And now you look at my quarter turn comparisons on my Instagram, and my waist is drawn in so much further. I've done them every day for now probably about 49 days, about 7 weeks, every morning without missing a morning at all.
Oh, no kidding, man. And it's made that much of a difference in just that period of time.
You yourself or anybody, go onto my Instagram at IFBB Pro Josh Wade and look at some of the quarter turn comparisons that I've made. I put a side-by-side, which was only 4 days difference. Yeah. It wasn't that I just started. I just finally implemented it into my posing.
Yeah.
And you'll see dramatic change. And it really is what I have. Obviously, we know as far as your waist is what's going to cause your structure. Your hip width is what's going to cause your waist structure. I don't have a wispy waist, but there's nothing I can do about that based on my hip structure.
Yeah.
So from the front, you want to call me blocky because I might not have the best taper, but there's no distension. And now from the side, I'm able to control that narrowness through these.
I was able to find the video. I'm going to see if I can do a screen share right now. See if I can, let's see if I can pull this up. There we go. I got you on. I got the video right now with us in the corner, or I've got the Instagram post up. Let's see. What did you say here? It says a lot of our sport is about presentation, and you're doing a side quarter turn here. And I could see, is this the one that you're talking about? Where it looks like
only 4 days difference.
That's 4 days difference. So on the left, I mean, you look just as full as you do on the right. Maybe a tiny bit fuller on the left. I don't know. but your stomach is a huge difference. So what you're doing is, this is with vacuuming. That's what you're talking
Yeah, this
about.
is basically just what it is. Instead of just like flexing my abs, I'm drawing my abdomen in.
Okay.
So after training those every day, and what I've noticed when I wear my weight belt when I'm weight training,
Yeah.
I don't belly breathe anymore. I'm breathing through my diaphragm.
Okay.
So if you look at that quarter turn, yes, my waist is tighter, but look how much my chest is risen.
Yeah.
And my chest is risen because the air from the air is rising the diaphragm up. So my
Okay.
belly's staying small, but my chest is elevated. So I've noticed a dramatic difference in my physique working on that. And so I know the judges are going to notice that.
Yeah.
Because I've been always noticed, as a blocky waist, but it's just genetic structure. Now I'm able to change the one part of it from the sides, my side tricep, my side chest, my quarter turns.
Yeah.
Now my waist looks smaller from the side than the side of my leg, which is amazing.
That's badass, man. That's really cool. We got a video running of you too now, going through your mandatory poses, and I could see the importance of that small waist up. You're about to hit the side chest. Oh yeah, and I could definitely see the control. What are you weighing right now, man?
This morning was 246.
Okay.
Which for me at 5'9", but I'm way ahead of condition, Scott. So yesterday was a plus 150 gram carb day. John
Okay.
is making sure that I don't lose the fullness in my legs because I'm so far ahead as far as condition, which is great. To me, I love being ahead because then I don't feel the stress of getting down to the wire.
Yeah.
I don't care. I've read people talk about, what's the purpose of being ready early? All that matters is when you show up on stage. Yeah, but the stress of wondering if you're going to be ready
Right.
can eat you apart. So knowing where I'm at now, glutes are in. There's only a little bit of fat between my butt cheeks. I mean, like knowing what I have to lose after 12 years, I know how to judge. When I'm taking a shower and I'm washing and all of a sudden there's this bigger gap, I'm like, oh shit, okay, so
Yeah.
it's getting close.
Yeah.
When you get to the point in prep where you can't hold a fart in anymore,
That's when you know you're ready, huh?
you're ready, yeah.
That's funny, man. Yeah, no, I know the feeling. That's badass too. You've always been a guy who's been able to nail that conditioning. Do you feel like part of that is genetic, that you're able to get that lean? Do you think that part of it's mindset? Do you think it's more one than the other? What's the story on that?
I'll say all of the above, but I'll indulge a little bit into all of those.
Yeah.
I work 13-hour days.
Yeah.
I'm up super early. I'm active. I'm a personal trainer. That is my job. I own a gym, a supplement store. So I'm here, and I hand the dumbbells to the clients. I lift the weights up. So like all day long, I'm active. That obviously
You're burning calories.
I'm burning calories, and that keeps my body moving.
Yeah.
But I love clean food. My wife, Shannon Wade, I got to give her props. Hopefully I can get her to listen to this.
Shout out to Shannon.
Yeah, dude, I'm not kidding you. You cannot ask for better support. The support in the sport is very important.
Yeah.
Family comes first to me. I have two wonderful young kids. And then obviously my wife. My wife prepares all my meals down to the gram. If I tell her, babe, we got to go plus 150 today, so just bring me 3 bags of 150 grams of rice, a cup apiece. She does that to me. I mean, she is my rock. Okay?
That's awesome,
She's the
man.
one that basically takes care of me. So with that being said, I love her cooking. Chicken and rice, so chicken over rice, beef over rice. I mean, that's how simple I am, but I love it.
Yeah.
And so I train my metabolism, okay? Just like anything else. You have to train your metabolism. So I'm frequent, all year long. For the last 12 plus years, I've been a bodybuilder,
right,
24/7, 365. It doesn't mean, but again, I found balance too now. I'll go, last Saturday we went to dinner for my niece's birthday and went to Yard House's restaurant. Oh man, everything smells so goddamn good.
I bet.
But I don't care. I'm doing what I need to do for me. So I went there to be with them because I'm not going to become a hermit anymore. Not since I've had kids.
Okay.
Then the next day we went and watched Dumbo, a studio movie grill, which you can get food and everything like that.
Oh, nice.
And I'm going to put my wife on blast since I just gave her credit. And I'm watching her eat chicken sliders and Bloody Mary at 11 o'clock in the morning. And, and I'm sitting there and I got an iced tea.
Yeah.
And I was good with that. Again, I'm never going to judge anybody for what I want to do.
Sure. No, absolutely.
Whatever they want to do, that's up to them. I'm never somebody that judges somebody else because it's not what I do. I don't care. I'm going to do what I need to do, and I don't want to affect especially my family's life by making the choices that I make.
Yeah, you don't want to
You
make
know?
them miserable just because you want to get on stage, whether it's your job or not to get on stage. I like your attitude a lot. All right, I want to talk about these arms. I feel like one thing I've noticed with people, this is my own personal experience too. Nice, nice. You have great shoulders, and I feel like guys with really good shoulders, it's harder to get your arms to match those shoulders. Is that what you've seen in your own experience too? Because I feel like did your shoulders were they fast to develop?
I was always been a strong bench presser, and I've always had good form with the bench. I've always kept the arch in the back, like we know, like the majority of people now know. You go flat back, you start reaching for the ceiling, and you start overworking that anterior delt.
Yeah, yeah,
I've always had pretty good chest positioning. So I've always had the arch. My chest has always been up. So I've been able to extend and squeeze without reaching and getting the anterior delts involved.
yeah.
So I've always been a strong presser, which obviously overhead presses as well. So chest and shoulders were always good for me. And I was really strong at like 150 pounds, in high school. I was a skinny kid. I was skinny my whole life.
All right.
That's why I think it is good that I think that's why it is beneficial for me, to have that metabolism, to come in as conditioned as I come in.
Yeah.
But still, I was strong even at 150 pounds. I was in the 100+ bench press club in high school. I benched 100 pounds over my weight.
Nice.
Things like that. So I've always been pretty strong there. And as far as the shoulder size to arm size, it can be relevant, but I think, you look at most of the pro bodybuilders, their arms are a lot shorter than mine.
Mm.
So the length of the arm, I think, is dictating the size more than anything. Yeah, my arms are longer, so can they get bigger? Sure. But it doesn't look as aesthetic, or it doesn't look as big because of the length of them.
Yeah, like when I see some pro basketball players that are pretty jacked dudes, but because they're like taller, lankier guys, the muscle doesn't look it looks athletic, but it never looks like thick or bulky because they just have such long joints. I totally get where you're coming from.
And that's me. I really do. I've measured my arms straight out, chest to chest, for guys that are 6'4".
Wow.
And have the same reach as some guys that are 6'4".
Okay.
And it's the way we're made up. And I mean, again, you want to make the most out of your physique, especially in this physique sport.
Yeah.
Then you got to work on what you're given. You can't complain like, oh shit, well, I'll never grow my arms. Well, try.
Yeah.
Or
quit. What other choice do you have, right?
Exactly. I mean, I want to make the most out of it. I'm gonna be unbiased when I look at myself and look at pictures against other guys on stage, especially, and be like, okay, yeah, he beat me. He looks great here. This is what I need to work on to try to match him.
Yeah.
That's again, like I said in that post, it's all about making change. It's all about looking at yourself, in an unbiased opinion, and seeing what you can improve on to make yourself better.
Absolutely.
And that changes every year. So every year you really got to be honest with yourself. And that's what I've done. So, I mean, as far as arm training, dude, I've done everything. Train them twice a week, train them 3 times a week. And now I'm back to basically training them twice a week.
Okay.
And I put a lot of posts about this as well. One of the most beneficial things that I felt that I've gotten, and my arms have developed the most, is controlling the eccentric portion.
Okay.
And no shit. I mean, again, it's not about heaving heavy weight, because I've had tendonitis that's hard to work through.
Yeah.
So you get to that point where your bicep tendonitis or your tennis elbow is so flared up, it is miserable to train arms.
Yeah, no.
And so you don't want to do it. And if you're going to, you don't even put in the effort because it fucking hurts.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've learned to control a lighter weight, squeeze harder, and control more on the eccentric portion.
Yeah, yeah.
I say it like this. If a muscle is burning, it's working.
There you go. That's a good point, man. So what are we
And I
talking
feel the
about weight
burn.
wise? Like now, because I'm curious to know what's lighter weight to Josh Wade, say just on a standing single arm dumbbell curl, if you do those.
Yeah, I honestly don't like to do too much alternating curls.
Oh, okay.
I do, but I like to do both arms at the same time, keeping a palms up motion like a barbell would be.
Okay.
Except for with dumbbells, I have a little bit more free range of motion to where, like, I've kind of strained my bicep tendon a little bit with a straight bar because I can't have any camber type motion with a
Well,
straight
really,
bar.
really.
So a slight angle on dumbbells, almost like holding an easy curl bar.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, doing both arms at the same time, as we all know, is harder than doing one arm at a time.
Sure, absolutely.
So with that in mind, basically the weight that I normally get up to for normally about 10 reps, maybe a couple more, maybe a couple less, with a 3-second descent, a hard squeeze at the top,
Whew.
and a 3-second negative control,
Yeah.
is normally, I don't normally go above 45-pound dumbbells.
Okay, so we're talking to an IFBB Pro guy who's got a serious amount of muscle on his body, 45-pound dumbbells. I see guys that are much smaller than me that are trying to use much more than that. So it gives me a good frame of reference as to what a heavy weight is, and what I can be looking at. So if a guy my size is working with 25 pounds, there's nothing to be ashamed about if I'm getting what you're talking about, getting that burn, right?
Well, yeah, and then you look at those same guys that are curling 70-pound dumbbells. You look at them in a year, and have they improved? No.
Right. No, they probably hurt their elbow or something, and they quit by now, right?
Yeah, and one thing I like to say, and I mean, I'm sure I know I didn't come up with this, but I like to say make a lightweight heavy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, I mean, again, I'll be 40 this year. And I like to throw this out here in basically any interview. I'm the only person that's ever turned pro in a master's category that's made the Open Olympia.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
And so I'm not a spring chicken. When I was younger, yeah, man, I used to throw around weights. I mean, we all did. Maybe the form wasn't the best, or maybe we're just so young. We were Superman. We could be injury free and do whatever the fuck we wanted to.
Right.
Well, things have to change in longevity. I know for a fact that the age that I'm at, the point in my career, if I get an injury now, I'm done. They're going to write me off because I'm too old to come back.
Yeah.
So I have to train smarter. And again, back to giving kudos to John Meadows, Mr. Mountain Dog. I've learned a lot of this from him.
Yeah.
John's 46. He's about to turn 47. Actually, I think Thursday. Tomorrow's John's birthday. So happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, John. We love him over here. He's one of my favorite guys. I just love his attitude, and I see it in you too.
I mean, that's why I'll tell you. I'll try to get to the story, and try to make it as fast as possible about how we connected and everything like that. But I mean, that's one thing I've learned. I've learned to train smarter.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of this. I mean, I know I'm jumping around all over the place, Scott. But
that's all right,
man.
man.
About as much as I can.
This is awesome. I appreciate it.
Like I listen to a lot of now. Dorian Yates has come out with a lot of interviews, fairly recently over the last couple of years. And I mean, I've always been a Dorian fan, but I do get those Dorian comparisons, which means a lot. Jay Cutler was always my bodybuilding idol. Before I ever competed, and now Jay and I are, we're I mean, I'd say we're friends. Not that we talk a lot, but when we do, it's amazing because he's an idol of mine. So when he comments on my post, I take a goddamn screenshot of it and I put it in the Jay Cutler comment album.
Oh, hell yeah, man. That's cool.
I mean, I'm a fan of the sport. I really am. No matter what level I get to, I'm always a fan.
Yeah.
A Steve Kuklo fan. I mean, I'm a fan of so many of the bodybuilders, but more so for their character than their physique.
Okay, sure.
And so I mean, again, I've had to learn how to train smarter. Listen to the Dorian Yates, like grinding out the reps. Grinding is not necessarily fucking heaving or throwing or whatever. Everyone thought Dorian trained ballistically. Dorian was under control the whole goddamn time.
Absolutely, he was. Yeah.
So grinding out those reps where you feel like if you control that eccentric portion, you are so much stronger on the concentric portion.
Absolutely.
And with no loss of momentum, you can grind through those sticking points. Like until I really listened to Dorian, I never really thought about it. Now, every time a rep gets hard, I just grind and just keep working smoothly.
Yeah.
And that's what gets the nasty burn deep in the muscle, and the soreness that you get so deep in that muscle
Yeah.
is from controlling that eccentric portion.
Does do you the workouts you do, does John write your workouts as well, or are you putting your own programs together? Like, are you training Mountain Dog style?
I always train Mountain Dog style, but it doesn't
Okay.
mean I use Mountain Dog programs all the time.
Okay. Okay.
So basically, what I mean is, again, I have some of John's programs, and I've used them verbatim for a
Yeah.
while. I'm pretty instinctive. Not that I don't write out my workouts sometimes, but I'm pretty instinctive.
Yeah.
But as far as using the Mountain Dog style, I always do. And what I mean by that is the partials, the iso holds, the drop sets. I don't always have a training partner, so I don't always get the forced reps.
Okay.
But Mountain Dog style is just about fucking intensity, really.
Yeah.
So I use a lot of, they're not even John's concepts, but they're in all of his programs about, when to do partials, when to do iso holds, drop sets, stretches, those type of things.
Yeah.
Again, it's all put together in a program, but I take all of those and just put it in wherever I want to, type of thing.
I gotcha.
So, I do my own programs, but it's all the same concepts that the best guys use. You go find a way to go beyond failure.
Yeah.
Safely.
Yeah.
So yes, I might not use his programs verbatim really, but I use his techniques all the time.
That's pretty awesome, man. How did you guys meet up?
So this is the story, and I'm gonna try to make it quick, Scott, because it can run long.
All right,
I know I'm
all right.
long-winded.
That's all right, man. I want to hear this. Plus, like I said, I'm a huge Meadows fan, so this is good.
So 2012 North Americans, right? So 2011 was my first super heavyweight attempt at the USA's.
Right.
I won the California State Championships as a heavyweight, like 6 or 8 weeks prior to that.
Okay.
And then I had a really, really good friend still a friend. We just don't talk very much. Another pro bodybuilder, Grigory Atoyan.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So Greg was local here. So Greg was somebody I knew very well. He was like a big brother to me growing up when I started up in the sport. I started training people out of his max muscles when he made in personal training studios, and that's how I actually got my initial start, got my business license, and started doing that. And then, obviously I've always wanted to progress, so I got into my own thing.
Yeah.
But just with Greg, he always said, which was the truth, again, because of my hip structure, back to what we talked about as far as the waist, he was like, you would always look better as a super heavyweight. You're gonna come in, it doesn't matter how shredded you are, somebody's gonna come in with a wispy waist and they're gonna beat you.
Yeah.
Time and time again, Scott, that happened. And so finally, after the 2011, I won the heavyweight class at the California State Championships.
Right.
And I listened to Greg, and Greg was like, "You need to come in as a super heavyweight."
Dang.
So
what did you weigh as a heavyweight, if you recall, when you were at the first show?
I was pretty top. I think I was low 220s.
Okay, so you were up there.
2010, when I won the overall at Contra, I was 217.
Okay.
So I was a few pounds heavier than that, but not much. So then I basically started trying to. I was shredded, obviously, as you know.
Yeah.
Condition is the one thing that we normally always have control over.
Yeah.
Size, maybe not. It takes time. You might not have the most amount of size right away. Presentation can always be in control.
Yeah.
But condition is how far are you willing to go?
Yeah.
And I'm willing. I know, especially now that I'm knowing about condition, if I don't show up in shape, the judges are going to knock me. They know that.
Yeah, you've set the bar high for yourself.
Now it's like I got to be fucking skinless.
Yeah.
And hopefully every time I have a little more size to match the skinless.
Right.
So that's kind of how it went. The USA's 2011. Again, 6 to 8 weeks after the California State Championships, I'm able to eat and grow into the show because I was already shredded. So now I get to weigh-ins at the USA's, and I go weigh in the scale. I was 226.
Wow. Okay. Right there. 226,
225 and a quarter. 225 and a quarter, top of the heavyweights. I was 226.
Right at the bottom. Okay.
Right at the bottom. But the guy asked me, he's like, hey, do you want to, go pee? Do you want to come back and reweigh?
Yeah, because like 20 minutes, have a bowel movement or something, you could probably make it if you really needed to, right?
Exactly, and I could have. But in the back of my mind, Greg was saying, you need to be a super heavyweight. So he said, do you want to accept weight? 226? Sure.
Just fuck it, take it. Wow.
Fuck it, take it. And I think that might be the year that Aaron Clark won the heavyweight class at 203 pounds.
Okay.
Because of aesthetics, because of wispy waist. So what if I compete next to Aaron, and now I get beat on structure?
Yeah.
So I got basically, that was my first year as a super heavyweight, jumping into the USAs, and I got fifth. Sean Ray interviewed me as the dark horse to crack the top 3, but nobody knew who I was.
Okay. That's
the first year that basically I knew who Steve Kukla was, obviously, for many, many years in magazines, but that's the first year I actually met him.
Oh, yeah.
And I go back to character.
This is a great lineup. I'm looking at the results right now for 2011 USA Championships, man. There was a lot of good people in that show.
Yeah. And, again, this goes back to the character thing that I just said that I'm a fan of the sport, but I'm a fan of men of character.
Okay. And
we did prejudging on Friday night, and I was shredded. Again, Sean Ray said I was the dark horse to crack the top 3. I mean, nobody knew who I was, but all of a sudden this guy shows up and he's peeled.
Yeah.
And peeled as a super heavyweight was very rare. So anyways, we have Friday night prejudging. And then Saturday we're sitting in the hallway like we all do at the USAs. We all sit in the hallway. Steve Kukla walks by me and was like, "Man, you look great last night." And I was like, "Holy shit, Steve Kukla just complimented me."
Yeah, hell yeah.
Never met him, never talked to him. I keep to myself, I especially back then. Now I'm obviously social media. That's how our sport and world is driven.
Right.
But back then, I nobody knew who I was. I was a plumber that basically came and, I was just a blue collar worker.
Yeah.
So for Steve to make that compliment to me, I'll never forget it to this day. Obviously, I still tell about it now because, again, that showed character to me, to compliment somebody that you don't even know, that's finishing below you. And basically that just told me, it's like, this is a stand-up guy. This is somebody that I'm always going to look up to, and I still do. Now we're a brotherhood. We're both sponsored by Allmax. We root for each other at shows, and I texted him. I was like, "Man, fucking congratulations! You look phenomenal."
And he took first place in super heavyweight as well as the overall for that show, 2011 USA Champion. So that was
correct.
A great show for him. And like you said, man, you guys you worked together. I saw both you guys together at the Allmax booth. Man, he was looking fantastic. Not to mention he just won at Indy. So I'm sure that was a huge celebration for Team Allmax, no question.
Yeah, definitely. And Steve won the Indy last year. So he got his Olympia qualification. He showed up at the Arnold both years in great shape.
Hell yeah.
And then he's one that I wasn't sure how he was going to do after missing 2017, taking the year off. But he built business. He's a smart man. He knows life after bodybuilding, and then he got back into it. And when he came back and really brought condition that he might have been lacking a little bit in the beginning of his career, now he's bringing condition, and he's got very good aesthetics. And I'm always rooting for Steve. We root for each other now, which is really cool.
But I sidetracked you, though. I was asking you about how you met John Meadows.
John Meadows, yeah. So I kind of started basically back 2011, and then I'm getting there now.
Yeah.
So 2012, North Americans. Again, it's like I came into 2012, and I did the USAs, and I thought I had to be a super heavyweight. I weighed in at that point. I weighed in like 236.
Okay.
The one time, and Dante Trudell said this, and I'll never forget it. There's the only time he's ever seen me off.
Huh, okay.
Because I was more concerned with the weight and being a super heavyweight than I was about being conditioned and then whatever size I brought with my best look. So this was about I need to be bigger. So 2012, dude, I slipped. I think if I remember, it might have got 10th at the USA's.
Okay.
So at that point, I was working with George Farah. Love George. And so after the USA's, we're like, okay, we're going to North Americans. I dropped 19 pounds.
You're kidding me.
I ended up coming in to North Americans as a heavyweight at, I think, 216.
Wow.
Yeah. Shredded.
Yeah,
I mean, absolutely shredded. The best condition I've ever been in. No, I wasn't that big. I wasn't, I was a little smaller, but I was peeled.
Yeah.
So after prejudging, and this is how it kind of originally started. That 2012 North Americans, look at that lineup, dude. That is a lineup.
Yeah. Let me see here.
I competed with John Meadows for the first time. The 2012 North Americans as a heavyweight.
Okay.
And after prejudging, everybody told me that I won.
Oh yeah.
And my wife was at home, and I'm super excited. And I call my wife. It's like, babe, I think I won.
Yeah.
Everybody building me up. I hate that build up part. God. I mean, I really. Like now, I won't tell people, my clients, be like, you look great. You go out there and you battle.
And so we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, I will not try to do that because the disappointment sucks.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's better to go in, unexpecting than it is to get your so built up and your hope up so far that it kind of crushes you.
Oh wow! I'm looking at super heavyweight. We had Dallas McCarver. I see Ron Partlow in there. Nick Trigilli was in there. A lot of big names. Then Joe Romine, he's from out here. Josh Wade in second for heavyweight. The just all the way down the list. I see you pulled ahead of Meadows for that one, and just down the list, man. And go down to light heavyweight. I see guys I know middleweight. Yeah, this was a strong show. This was a really strong show.
Dude, that's when bodybuilding was bodybuilding, Scott.
Yeah.
But so anyway, ended up coming just like you just said. Show up at finals, expect me to get my name called first, got called second.
Yeah. How did that feel, man? Had you let people in your head? Because you hear that from people, and I know it's like I don't want to get too built up, but this guy said I won. I probably I might have gotten it. That had to be a tough second place to take.
It was a tough second place because for one, it was my first second place.
Okay.
For two, I was that close to a pro card, and and George said something to me though that I still won't forget, Scott. I don't forget things that really resonate with me.
Yeah.
He said, when you're ready to be a pro, you'll turn pro.
Yeah.
Would I have been able to compete as a pro after when I at 2012 jump on a pro stage? No. I would not have had the size at my height to try to come in and be anywhere near where I was when I finally turned pro. And I'm not gonna jump ahead because I'm talking about Meadows still. So basically, that's I competed against Meadows, and I didn't know who John was at the time because again, I kept to myself. I was a blue collar plumber.
Yeah.
And I just loved competing. I loved the iron. It got me out of trouble. The iron is what changed my life. And for one, kept me out of jail because
right on.
A lack of confidence is what got me in trouble when I was younger until I found weight training, which built my confidence.
Yeah.
To the point where I no longer cared what anybody else thought about me. I was no longer going to try to do the wrong things to fit in with the wrong people,
right?
The cool kids. So weight training is what changed my life.
Huh.
And so I was always in love with the iron. And then basically just the sheer fact that I have complete control over what I do here.
Yeah.
When I push the weight, what I eat, I have complete control. So, I mean, I fell in love with the weight training portion of it. So I didn't necessarily follow the sport. I loved building the body so much that I wanted to compete. And that's how I started.
Yeah.
So I didn't follow a lot of the bodybuilding. I didn't know who John Meadows was. And then after the 2012 North Americans, I got a Facebook message. And again, okay, so everybody that I'm talking about now, I'm coming back to character, right?
Yeah.
So 2012, after that, John sent me a message on Facebook Messenger. Didn't know who he was. And basically just was like, man, I have not seen somebody in your condition in a long time. You should have had that. And like very nice comments. I just thought it was another guy. And I mean, I'm very appreciative person. So I respond to all my fans. I do.
Okay.
And so I'm like, thank you very much. I thought I had it as well. And, that type of thing, not knowing that it was John Meadows.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
So then, time goes on, 2013, I compete, go through the USA's, got fourth. Then after that, 2014, I was at the Arnold Sports Festival getting ready for the USA's. And I was at the Arnold, and obviously John lives in Columbus area. So John came by the Allmax booth in 2014. And at that point, I knew who he was, but he came up to me, and he posted about this a couple years ago. And he was like, I think you would benefit from training with me. First time in over 30 years he's ever asked anybody to train with him.
No kidding.
He's never once in his whole life asked basically to coach somebody.
Huh. Okay.
And so he gave me his business card there, the 2014 at the Arnold, when I was just at the Allmax booth. He gave me his business card. I got home a couple days later, ended up calling him.
Huh.
And I mean, he basically says that to me, that he's never once asked anybody to work with him.
Yeah.
And I said, well, why'd you do it? He said, well, for one, you seem like a good guy, and you should have already gotten it, meaning the 2012 North Americans.
Okay.
So that was 2014. And so I at that point, I was actually working with Hani Rambot for 1 year. Hani's pretty local to me, Northern California.
Okay.
And so, I mean, I knew who he was. And then, after basically getting to that point, I was like, I think I might need something like to go to the next level, thinking that there was some magic something. There's not, Scott. It's just time and effort.
Well, plus he was Jay's coach, and you looked up to Jay, so
right,
I'm sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I was like, man, if he can do this, maybe he can do something, with me.
Yeah.
So basically, I started using John's training programs, but John didn't coach me because I was already with Hani.
Okay.
So then after basically the 2014 USA's, which I ended up fourth again at the 2014 USA's in the heavyweight class. But on my way there, I had 3 cortisone shots in my shoulder to be able to rise my arm.
Oh, man.
I ended up tearing my tricep tendon, an 1.5 inch tear in my tricep tendon, 6 weeks out from the USA's.
Oh, God.
I was so dry and pushing so hard. Literally, I had a bone spur in my right shoulder that anytime I would move my arm was starting to tear a hole in my labrum.
What the hell were you doing to yourself?
I was pushing because that's what I thought I had to do.
Okay.
And I didn't have time. I mean, I was working and I was committed to doing this.
Yeah.
I was committed to doing the show no matter what. So I got, again, 3 cortisone shots because they started lasting less and less and less.
Yeah.
It was causing so much damage because all I was doing is putting a Band-Aid over an injury.
Yeah.
So then after the 2014 USA's, I got fourth. I could barely work triceps leading up to the show, like Dorian in 1993.
Yeah.
Was it 94? I don't know. I just lost. It was 92 to 97.
I'm not sure which year it was.
Yeah. Anyways, whatever. Yeah. But you get my point. Same thing for the last 3 weeks before the Olympia, he couldn't train.
Okay.
Because that tricep was hanging on by a thread.
Right.
Mine was very similar. I had an 1.5 inch tear in it. So after the 2014 USA's, I went to the orthopedic surgeon. They ended up basically doing arthroscopic shoulder surgery, removed the scar tissue, shaved down the bone spur, and my labrum was all frayed. So they basically scarred my labrum over to kind of heal it back together.
Huh, okay.
So then basically my shoulder worked, and that was September of 2014.
Okay.
Then I got back into training, not knowing I had a tricep tear. I just thought I had an injury. Got back into training, and then my tricep was excruciating, and I went in. That's when they finally did an MRI, and there was an 1.5 inch tear. So March of 2015, they had to basically drill the bone, reattach the tendon to the bone, scrape the bone so it got good bleeding, so the scar tissue would hold the suture and hold the tendon in place.
Wow.
I didn't train for 9 out of 12 months.
Wow.
I thought I was done.
Yeah.
I really did not think I was going to come back after that. I didn't think I'd be able to push to what I used to push.
Wow.
And so I really thought I was done.
And
so
now,
I didn't compete. 2015 was the first year I didn't compete.
you were with Allmax before that. You're with Allmax now. Did they stick with you through all of this too?
Yeah, I was just an amateur, Scott. So basically, I was on an amateur sponsorship. I got product.
Okay.
And I loved product. I loved the company before I got sponsored.
That's a great marriage then. It really is.
Yeah, because again, I'm going to jump right back to where we're at.
Yeah.
But back to the beginning in 2011 when I actually got signed on with Allmax.
Yeah.
Kevin Coaheaven is the director of U.S. sales. He is my guy. He's the one that's been with me the whole time.
I like this stuff.
When I was
it's
working,
good stuff right here.
It's great stuff. No proprietary blends. All the ingredients are listed. I do love Allmax products. I really do. But back to when I was training clients out of Greg's personal training studios.
Yeah.
Greg was one of the first to carry Allmax in the United States at his Max Muscle stores.
Okay.
And so when I went over there and started training, and I tried chocolate peanut butter Isoflex.
Oh, it's so good.
I was hooked. I was like, this is the best tasting protein I've ever tried, coming from, Gold Standard.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
So then I was training my clients, and all my clients, I got on it, and they loved it.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, Greg's product sales are shooting through the roof.
Yeah, yeah.
I was the busiest trainer there was there. And so now every time he would talk to Kevin and place an order, he was like, you got to do something for Josh. Even if it's just product sponsorship, you got to do something. It's just pushing the product and loves the product. And so that's how my amateur sponsorship came about. So it's just a product sponsorship.
Yeah.
I sold product to my clients. So, they're going to stand by me because they are a good company, and Kevin's my guy, like I said. But also, it wasn't like I was on a pro contract where I wasn't able to compete, and now all of a sudden they're paying me a salary.
I got you.
They basically stood with me, and now I've actually become somebody with them over the last couple of years.
Absolutely.
So now basically back to 2015, after those surgeries, I missed 2015 national season. I started competing in 2011 at the USA's.
Yeah.
So for basically 11, 12, 13, and 14, 4 years, I competed on the national scene all 4 years. 2015, because of the surgeries, I was knocked out. So after the national season, and this is something I still give him credit for, and I've never met Dante Trudell, creator of DC Training, obviously, True Nutrition. I got this Facebook Messenger. Again, I'm back to character, man. The guys that I stand by are the guys that I see true character in.
Huh, I like that.
Dante sent me a Facebook Messenger after the 2015 season, was like, hey, man, you're so close. I didn't see you on the national season this year. Dusty Hanshaw and I have always talked about this. You're one of the most underrated amateurs in the nation. You always show up in nasty condition. You're so close. I hope you didn't hang it up. Out of the blue, out of nowhere. I've never messaged him. Didn't know he knew who I was, but he followed the sport. Again, somebody that truly loved the sport. So after getting that message in September of 2015, that relit a fire under my ass to finish what I started.
Wow.
And I might not have finished it.
Wow.
So the next day, what do? Now I don't have a coach.
Yeah.
There was one person I highly respected. The next day, I got on the phone and I called John Meadows.
Hell yeah. Nice.
Dropped my daughter off at preschool. On my way to work, I called John Meadows. And this is how the conversation went. It was like, John, I feel like I want to come back and finish what I started.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it with you.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I'm going to want, basically control of your nutrition as well as the training.
Okay.
And I said, John, if I'm doing it, I'm 100% with you. He said, this is what he said. Let's go win Team U.
Hell yeah, man. And that's what happened, right?
2015, he won the 35-plus Masters overall at Team U, and that's where he turned pro.
Yeah.
He wanted me to follow in his footsteps. The only person he's ever asked to train with him.
Huh.
And so he said, let's go win Team U. At that point, I wanted a pro card, Scott. I wanted to finish what I started.
Hell yeah.
Never thought I would be a good pro, but I knew I could be pro. So I didn't care if it was an age category. I didn't care if it was a fucking Masters show.
Yeah.
To me, it didn't matter. For me, it was accomplishing something that I set out on many years ago to be a professional bodybuilder. I never thought I would be good. I never did, honestly. So I just wanted to finish what I started. So I didn't care if the first show of the season was an age category show. And, it was before the USA. So it was basically like early July of 2016.
Yeah, you wanted to be your best. That's really what it came down to.
I wanted to be my best.
Yeah.
And so the first show I go into, I win the overall and I get my pro card.
Take it, right?
I took it.
And that's a tough show, by the way. That's a tough show. Over 35 now, like even the over 40, like it used to be when that first started, there was maybe like a minute where people could sneak in. But there's no question anymore. Like we got people like Josh Wade in the 35 and over. So
man, masters, normally people that have trained for many years have that density, that muscle maturity that the guys don't have now.
Yeah.
Especially the younger guys, they might be big and they might be round, but their muscles look like water balloons because they're just so full.
Yeah.
But they don't have the density and that nasty graininess that I get from years of beating on muscle tissue. That's just how it works.
Absolutely.
It don't matter what you fucking take, and everybody that is in the unknown thinks that it's basically what you take that gets you to look grainy and hard. Fuck no. It's years of beating down the muscle tissue, training the shit out of it, and then it comes back denser and harder and harder and harder.
So you're a believer that the way you
year round, you're going to stay that way.
And I'm sure then you're a believer that the type of training you do will influence the quality of your muscle. Like Dorian looked the way he did because of the way he trained, right?
Exactly. You want to pump a muscle, you're going to fill it up, yeah. But are you going to beat the shit out of it to where it needs to rest, repair, heal, and then comes back bigger, stronger, denser?
Yeah.
That's the two different types. I don't pump reps.
Yeah.
I train the muscle till failure, and then I do it again.
How long do your workouts last about on a regular basis?
Oh, dude, legs are the longest, and it's basically maximum of an hour and a half. I mean, even like a chest and tris, dude, I'm like an hour and 15 minutes. I keep a pretty fast pace. I train intensity. I have a decent amount of volume, but not Jay Cutler volume.
What are we talking? Say sets on a leg day, for instance. How many sets total?
Okay, I do quite a few warm-ups. Again, I'm a little older and I'm cautious.
Me too.
But as far as working sets,
yeah.
I'm probably getting, I'm probably getting maybe upwards of 28 sets.
Okay.
On a quad and hamstring.
And that's combined, both quads and hams.
Combined, basically 4 quad exercises, 3 hamstring exercises. That's pretty standard.
And you're moving quick. If you're getting that done in an hour and a half, you're moving quick then too.
I do keep a fast pace, especially when I'm in prep. I don't even drink coffee. I'm not caffeinated, and I talk like this. So when I'm in prep, my body starts burning faster and faster, and I just start fucking moving, and I just can't slow down when that time comes.
Yeah. Your energy seems great, man. You're on right now. Like your energy seems great. How many weeks out are you again?
Just over 5 weeks. 5 weeks and 2 days. Okay.
And do you have any other plans set up after New York? Yeah,
I do. Last year I did New York. I did the Cal the following weekend.
Nice.
Well, the Cal in Culver City. I mean, the family's planning on driving to that. They can see me there. It's a 6-hour drive.
Cool.
I smile so much more when my family's in the audience.
Hell yeah.
It means the world to me. So I'm doing New York, and obviously I go by myself. I can't bring the kids. My kids are 5 and 7, and it's tough.
Yeah.
It's almost more of a burden on my wife because she has to take care of them when I'm doing what I have to do when I'm there.
Yeah.
So I'm doing New York. I'm doing the Cal. And one show that I really, really, really like, and I haven't had the opportunity to do. So my plan is to do Toronto the 3rd weekend in a row.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Wow.
So again, with my dry, grainy body type, once I'm shredded, dude, I don't change a lot. So me flying, I might have a little water retention. I go to the gym the first day and I sweat it out, or actually more than likely pull that water back in.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking ready. So I don't really have those complications because my body's ready. When it's ready, I can almost not fuck it up unless I try.
Yeah.
You know,
So water manipulation, it sounds like you're not doing too many changes then.
you know, John has put this on his Mountain Dog website, so I'm sure he wouldn't mind me saying, dude, I hardly do anything. I do 6 liters of water every day.
Okay.
The day before the show, I do 5.
Really? Really? Okay.
That's my water manipulation, 1 liter.
Dang. Dang. And
Almost always. Every show we've done, and we've done like 10 pro shows now, that's pretty much my manipulation. That's it. I don't change my sodium. You know, I mean, I might carb up a little bit, but most likely once I'm shredded, then we start trying to fill up a little bit, back down cardio, preserve the legs. Scott, it's just a matter of people overthink this shit when it's just to get ready.
yeah.
You know, be ready. If you're ready, you're ready. There's no pulling rabbits out of the hat. That's why, you know, people talk about peak week. I think peak week is kind of bullshit, because if you're not ready by then, I'm sorry, you're not going to make that many changes.
Yeah. Hey,
My opinion.
I'm looking at a picture. It looks like you put up a before and after of yourself. From you're doing it looks like a hands on hip most muscular, and next to that's what's your weight difference there, and what are we talking time wise?
I'm pretty sure that if it's the one, was it the 10-year challenge?
I'm not sure. It looks like it could be 10 years though. You're wearing black trunks on one side.
Yeah, I think that was the California State Championships, which is actually 2008.
Okay.
So that was 10 years.
Okay.
10 years and 60 pounds.
Oh, no kidding, man. 60 pounds.
Yeah, if that's the Cal show, I was 184.
Okay.
And then at the Olympias, what I posted, I think I was 244, so 60 pounds.
Dang, jeez. Your legs look great there too, man. Everything, your conditioning looks nasty, and to think that you're even bringing your waist in tighter than that, because it's a really nice shot, that front lat spread of yours. Your waist looks pretty small, especially considering the amount of size you have. If you're able to bring that in even tighter now, man, it's going to be exciting to see. I'm excited to see what you bring, man. This is going to be fun.
I know the judges are going to notice it, Scott. I know that, because for one, I've been posting about it because I want them to pay attention to that.
Oh yeah.
For two, that's the one biggest improvement that I can make in one single season.
Yeah.
Is that the size? Like I told you, the size is minuscule. I mean, it's not going to be necessarily a tremendous amount of difference after this many years of beating up the muscle tissue. I'm not going to all of a sudden grow overnight.
Yeah.
But this is one thing that's going to change me more than anything has changed me in one season.
That's awesome, man. And I like this idea. I feel like bringing your torso in, that's a challenge that all of us can take on. I know that I've felt something similar that you have, that, you know, I've gotten some distension as I've aged, and I've just thought to myself, well, this is it. Maybe this is just the way my body is shaped. Maybe I don't have the ability, but listening to you, it kind of gives me hope to think, hey, maybe I can fix this. Maybe I can correct this too.
You can't do it in one day. You can't do it in 2 days. You can't do it in 3 days. You do it every day, and you will start noticing till you get to the point where, after me now 7 weeks, I don't think I'm drawing it in anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to get any smaller, but I'm able to control it easily now.
That's nice, man. That's exciting. Well, listen, while I've got you here, let me know, where can everybody follow along with everything you're doing? What's your Instagram, and are you doing any kind of videos anywhere? Anything that people should be looking for?
Instagram is where I pretty much do the videos.
Okay.
Again, I mean, I'm here 13 hours a day. I normally train 8 to 10 clients a day. I don't have time to do really the YouTube and convert it to video.
Yeah.
I don't have time to do that. So I do have some of my employees will film me doing a video, doing a workout.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the Dorian type mindset. It's like, I don't want to stage this shit. I just want to do it. You film it.
Right.
And then I can basically put text into it and tell people what I'm doing that's maybe different. So my Instagram is at IFBB Pro Josh Wade.
Okay.
Which is really increasing. It really is. I try to be informative on the content I put out. It's not just a picture. Look at me.
Yeah.
It is trying to be helpful, because that's how John Meadows started. And again, I am trying to lead in his footsteps.
I got you, man.
So that's where you can find me. That's where I put out pretty much almost everything is on the Instagram. It's the easiest way to do it. Sponsors look at that as far as, influencers. And I mean, I think it makes a difference. And I get a lot of good positive feedback as far as, being motivational and inspirational, especially the guys that are a little older. And I take that to heart, man. I mean, it seriously, I am appreciative, and the sincerity is there. Anytime I respond to a person, it's not bullshit. It's like, I really thank you. You send me a negative comment, fuck it, I'm gonna block it. I'm not gonna read it. I'm gonna act like it never happened, because there's no reason. I don't put out negativity. I don't want negativity in return.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that in my life. I'm a very positive, family-driven individual, and everybody that I have around me are people that are beneficial to me, people that I care about. So I'm not gonna get in some fucking debate that I don't have time for, just to get a rise out of somebody, because that's what they're looking for.
No,
sorry.
I think that's a great attitude, man. And you know what, too? I think on the positive side of that, you make a really good point, because you were so influenced by people that had said positive things to you. I mean, Dante Trudell, how could he have known that what he had said has allowed you to he gave you the hope, I guess, to say, hey, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do this, and you are where you are today. He could have never known, So it's cool to think of
known. And
the positive.
I have a column.
Oh,
I have a monthly column in Muscular Development magazine now.
Nice.
I have a monthly column that started this year.
Okay.
And I don't think it's technically out yet. I'm pretty sure it's May's issue.
Okay.
So it's not out yet, but it's written. And I mentioned Dante, and a little bit about what it was that I hopefully is motivational for people. Because I'm going to give credit where credit is due, just like Dante, just like John. Again, these people, they don't write programs and think they invented the wheel.
Yeah.
They give credit where credit is due, and they say where they got information from. That is integrity to me, Scott, and I will never sacrifice my integrity.
Hell yeah. Well, I appreciate your time this morning, Josh. I know that you have a bunch more clients that you have to train today. Probably have some food you need to eat. And considering you're 5 weeks out from your show, man, I don't want to take up any more of your time. But I am so appreciative that you could take an hour out of your day this morning and talk with us. It really means a lot to me, and I'm sure that the listeners will appreciate it too.
Yeah, definitely. Send me the link once you get it. I'll try to share it out there. And again, hopefully more people get to know me and get to root for me. People say that I don't have the best structure. I don't have the best genetics, but I will outwork you if you don't show up your best.
There you go.
So that's what people talk about me. And I mean, I'll take that. And, I make a comment that, I'm not gifted. I'm not lucky. I'm just driven. And then, people will be like, oh yeah, you're a pro bodybuilder. How can you not say you're not genetically gifted? Well, look back at my pictures. I wasn't meant to be this size. I put in the effort no matter what I've done.
Sure.
I put in the effort to get there. So, so a lot of people are like, man, you came from that. I can do it. I can do it. You can if you want to.
I like that, man. Those are great words. Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Definitely, Scott. Thank you very much, man. You take care.
You too. Guys, for another episode of Advices Radio with IFBB Pro Josh Wade, thank you for listening.